Hello and welcome back to Lazy Day Crochet. I'm Sandy and I'm going to show you how to crochet one of my favorite blanket patterns. Makes a good baby blanket. It's just a lay around blanket on the couch. It's wonderful. We're going to start by getting our yarn on the hook. And this pattern you do multiples of 2 and then we add 3 at the end. So however, I love patterns where you don't have to do 15 stitches for each time you want to increase the length. When you have a smaller number, like 2 stitches, it's much more flexible in how wide you want it. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you just evaluate. Like, is this as long as you want it? Probably not. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now I've gotten really far ahead of myself. Let's talk about materials real quick. This is a 5.5 millimeter hook. I'm using Joann's Big Twist yarn, which for acrylic, it's cheap, it's easy to work with, and it says to use a 5 millimeter. But when I do blankets, I always make it one size bigger, or a half a size bigger on the hook. So then our color is soft gray. And my other color is eggplant. So same thing, Big Twist, 100% acrylic. But you can use whatever yarn you want. If you don't want to use acrylic for a blanket and would rather use, polyester, cotton, cashmere, you name it. There's all different kinds of material to use. All right, so we're going to keep doing 2s. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Let's see what we got here. This isn't bad. I can keep it in the screen so we can see what's happening. All right, so we are going to go, once you get whatever length that you want, in sections of 2, okay? We're going to put 3 more on the end. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Then we're going to go the 4th chain from the hook and do a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3 is the ones we just did. 4. We're going to go into that 4th chain. Do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going into the 4th. Now, I'm going to go ahead. And turn it 1, 2, 3, 4. I want a nice border on the bottom. And I've shown in a previous video that if you use the humps on the back of your stitches, that it makes the bottom edge of whatever you're making really uniform and nice. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the humps to make the edge nice. Now, for my own thing, I always put a marker on my ends, so I always know where the ends are, and it doesn't start turning into a V or, you know what I'm saying, a triangle or a V. It's going to stay straight all the way across. All right, so we're going to now do double crochet all the way across in each one of the stitches. I'm using the humps. If you don't use the humps, that's fine. You can just go in through these 2, or however you do it, however you want to do it, and just do a double crochet all the way across. I have a video that goes through basic stitches, and it shows like double crochets and trebles, and then I have another one for specialty stitches like popcorns and clusters, and it just helps to explain what those are. So each hump or each stitch on our chain, we are putting a double crochet. One of my favorite things is making blankets. And I enjoy all different types of patterns. But when I first started really getting into crochet, these patterns are so wonderful to learn from. You pick up new stitches. You get just more comfortable with tension and just crocheting in general. And that's what it really is just doing it over and over and over. And you know, the first time you do it, it'll be better the next time you do it, and it'll be better the next time you do it. And the easiest way for a beginning crocheter is you do the two main primary stitches, which are single crochets and double crochets. Once we get to the end here, we're going to chain one, turn. We're going to do a single crochet all the way across to get back to the other side. And then we're going to change colors, or you can keep the same color, doesn't matter. But I'll show you how to change colors if you want to use two different colors. And if you don't reach the end by the time I reach the end, just pause, get to the end, and then keep going with me. Almost there. Last one, if I can get it in there. There we go. All right, there we are. So we have double crochets all the way across. There we go. All right, so I'm going to chain one and turn. And we're going to put one single crochet in each stitch, which means we include this first one. Okay, so I explained on another video that when you have your chain facing you like you just crocheted it, right, the stitches are going to the left. Okay, if you're right-handed. So you see the V, right? And then this is our chain. We don't count the chain. The chain just allows the stitch to be the correct height when we turn it around, and it doesn't pull on the stitch below it. I mean, so we're not counting this chain, but this right here is our last stitch. Okay, so when we turn, all of these stitches are now backwards, but you can see this stitch right here, because the stitches are backwards. You see the small ends are to the left now. This is the stitch we need to go into. So that stitch is right here. See the V? Here's the V, and here's our chain stitch, our chain 1, which doesn't count. It's just for height. So this is our actual first stitch. You follow the post up, and then you remember that it's on the reverse side. So instead of looking on the right, you're going to look on the left. If you look on the right, you're going to see this chain stitch, and we don't use that. We don't count that. It's just for height, okay? I'm only explaining this because nobody explained that to me when I was first started. Like it should have just been known the anatomy of a stitch, and it's not. Like it's not bad that somebody explains that. Okay, so you follow the post up. The stitch is backwards, so it's going where we put it in. It's going to be to the left. We have the V at the top, right there. Okay, and then our chain stitch is right here, but we don't count. That's just for height again. And we're going to do single crochet all the way across. Now, just like I did before, I'm going to put a marker in that starting stitch, because this is our starting stitch, not the chain 1, okay? Just easy reminder. It helps you to keep your stitches straight when you get to the ends. Now we're going to go into each stitch and do a single crochet. You always want to make sure you grab both the loops, because when you're doing it on the other side, it's really easy to just catch one without the other. But if you go in like straight through, you'll catch them both. And don't forget, you have the option of changing colors when we get to the end. All right, we're coming up to the end here. Now here's my stitch marker. This is the one my stitch marker's in, so I know that's the last one. So now we have double crochets with single crochets on top. Okay. All right, we're going to go back with this stitch. You're going to put your hook back into it and undo that. So you just have the 2 loops on your hook and you could just finish it. We're going to change colors if you want to change color. I'm going to use the eggplant. You know what? I'm going to use the extended single crochet to help hold that yarn in place, okay? So let me show you how to do that. I just backed out of that stitch altogether. So the way, when I change colors, I like to do extended single crochets or extended double crochets because it really helps to hold the yarn in place when you switch, okay? So I'm going to show you how to change color with an extended single crochet, okay? It helps to hold the yarn in place. So you're going to go in the stitch, your last stitch, pull through. I do both. So you have both on your hook. You go through 1 stitch. Then you take your new color and go through all. Tighten it down. There you go. There's no way this color is going to come out. Let me show you how to do it one more time. I don't like it when you just do the single pull through and then something happens and you pull the color out, you got to start all over again. So this extended single crochet prevents that from happening. All right, so we're to our last stitch. We're going to go in like a single crochet and pull up. This is the yarn going to our ball, and this is our new color. You're just going to put them together. Put the yarns together. And you're going to pull through 1. You see, you pull through 1 loop only, not both, just 1. And then you take your new yarn, yarn over, and you're going to go through all those loops. And there you go. It will not come out. It will not come out. All right, so now, now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. This counts as a double crochet. We're going to turn. Let me turn this way so my yarn is in the back. Now we can put a border around. If you put a border around, you can hide these, where you can just bring them up the side, and then when we're done with the blanket, then you go through and just add the border along the side, and it covers up these. If you don't want to do that, you wrap them around, and you can carry the yarn with you, or you can just cut it, which is what I'm going to do. And the reason why I'm going to cut it is because some of you may have longer blankets, wider blankets, and it's not feasible to carry the yarn all the way through. That's a lot of wasted yarn. All right, so we have our chain 3. We're going to move our marker up. It's going to go into the top stitch of the chain 3. This is just to remind you of which one is your first stitch on this end, okay? All right. Now, this is our first stitch. You see the post, we're going to single crochet, and then our chain 3. So our next stitch is right here. This is our first, this is our second. We're going to do a treble around the next double crochet. So it's 2 rows down. This is the first row of our singles, second, which is our doubles. You're going to go in that stitch, and we're going to go through, through, through. That's your treble. All right, so we have this one that counts as our double, this one that counts as our treble. We're going in the next stitch, we're going to do a double crochet. Please remember, I know I say this so much, but this caught me so often when I was first starting, that when you have your stitches backwards, that you forget that it's now the one you're going into is to the left and not to the right. So what do I mean? So it looks like our next stitch would go right here, right? Because this is the post. So this would be the next stitch for this post, but it's not. It's going to be the stitch to the left of this post, which is right here. This stitch belongs to this post. This stitch belongs to this post. This stitch, this post. This stitch, this post. If you were to go into this post, you've already thrown your pattern off. So when you turn your work and your stitches are backwards, you have to look at it as your next stitch is to the left of wherever you're wanting to go. So this is the post we want to go into. This is our next stitch that we're going to do a double into, okay? Just like that. Okay? So this double goes with this stitch. So now we're at this post. We are going to do another treble around. Through, through, and through. Okay? Now, here we are again. Which stitch are we going into? This post has this stitch. So this post, which is our next stitch, is right there. I'm going to double crochet. You see? This, they say that when you do a front post, you cover up the stitch that corresponds with it. But when you're crocheting it, that's not true. It doesn't cover up until that stitch is completed. So it doesn't help you at the beginning to know that it will cover it up if it doesn't get covered up until your stitch is done. All right. So here we go again. This post is this stitch. So we're going into this post and we're going to do our treble. Through, through, and through. Now, once you get it going, you can see we're doing an every other thing. So this is the next post. We're going to do a double crochet into the stitch that's left of it. So now when that sits, it's covering this stitch, but you don't know it until you make this stitch. It's so hard. And you know what? Maybe it's not hard. Maybe it was just me. I don't know. Wrap twice. We're going to do another treble around our next stitch, which is right here. I almost went here because I was thinking right, and it's not. It's to the left. So we're going to go around, through, through, through. And you should just be able to look and see that it's every other one is the treble, is the front post treble. All right, so we're going to keep going. This one goes to this. So we're going to double here, which means we treble here, around, just like you would a single crochet, through, through, or just like a double crochet. All right, so now we're here, we double, we're going to treble. So this one is here, so we go here. Through and through. Double. Treble. We're going to do this all the way across, and take your time, because even though you're like, oh, it's every other one, you know what, it's so easy to get them mixed up, and then it gets your count off, and then you have to make the choice if you want to just continue and hope nobody sees it, or if you're frogging back and going to redo from where you made the mistake. You know, I also want to say that the double crochet, when you separate them, it has the line here, the lines on each side, and then your stitch, I guess, where your stitch comes together, is above that line. When you do your front post, you want to be under that yarn, because you want the body of your stitch, not just the top. All right. Just take it nice and easy. If you have to stop and look, stop and look. It will save you so much frustration. Taking a couple of seconds now, rather than just rushing through it. So treble, double, treble, double, or double front post treble, double front post treble. And this right here is our pattern. All right, so like I was saying, this is our pattern, the double, the front post treble, the double. We're going to do that all the way back and forth, back and forth. And you can use as many or as little colors as you want. This would be an easy way to make a sports blanket. Like, I love the Carolina Panthers, so it's easy to do a blue, gray, black, white, and then just keep going back and forth on those 4 colors. All right, we're coming up to the end. If you're not done, put me on pause, finish your row, and then join up with us. Okay. I'm going to do a double this last. See where that marker is, right? All right, we're going to take it out. We're going to chain 1. We're going to turn. Now we're going to do our single crochets all the way across. So there's our first one. We have to do one in this starting one because that turning chain didn't count. That chain 1 to turn did not count on this side, on the short side. All right, and now we're going to single crochet all the way across. Whoa. Kind of fold that stitch there. When we get down to this end, we're going to do our extended single crochet and go back to the original color. You can go to your third color. You can be using the same color. If you're using the same color, you don't have to do the extended single crochet. It's just to help hold that new color in. All right, we're coming up to the end. So this one is this one, this one is this one, and then we have to do the single right here. Oh, we gotta take it out. All right, so let's take this single crochet out. We're going to do our color change. All right, so I'm the next to the last stitch. We're going to go in our chain, top of our chain. There's our first, the start of our extended single crochet. We're going to get, we still have the purple attached. We're going to get our other color, and whatever color that is for you. You're going to put them together, go around, pull through the first loop only. Okay? Then take your new color, and you're going to go through all the loops. That is your single crochet. Now you're going to chain 3. You can tighten up your... What I'll end up doing is just tying a simple knot with these two, and then weaving the ends in. Or if I want to do a border, I can use the border to cover it up. So now we have to cut off our other color. Put it right over here. All right, now we're going to do a double in the next stitch and a treble around the double. So we're skipping our first stitch. We're going to do a double crochet in our treble. And remember, since the stitches are reversed, it's not this stitch. This goes with this. This goes with this. Our next one, we're going to treble. So 2 over, front post, through, through, through. Then we're going to double crochet in the treble. And then treble around the double. Double in the treble. Whoops. Double in the treble. Treble around the double. Double in the treble. Treble around the double. Double in the treble. Treble around the double. Double in the treble. And again, this is our pattern all the way through. Treble, double, treble, double, front post, treble, and then double. This is a really nice pattern that once you get the hang of the rhythm, that you can just sit back, turn the TV on, just listen. I haven't, even after all the time I've been doing this, all the years, I still can't stare at the TV and just mindlessly crochet. Can't do it. That is some kind of a trust situation there, to be able to not look at what you're doing. I don't trust myself enough to get the right hole and get the right stitch and all right, coming up to the end. And if you want to do this in like a soft baby yarn, your yarn is going to be, it typically is a little thinner. So you would just use a smaller crochet hook. Just look at the recommendation of the hook on it. And then the bigger that you do the hook, the more flow your item is going to have. All right. Gonna do a double right here at the end. There we go. There we go. Now let's see what we have here. Look at that. Isn't that just neat? What a beautiful blanket this is going to be. What this would make. And it's so, the texture in it is nice. It's still light, but oh my goodness, it just feels great. So to continue from here, you would just chain 1, turn, single crochet all the way across. Make sure you use your stitch markers so your edges will stay straight. You have to use your end stitches to go straight. If you go in one, you get triangle. If you add some, you get the V, and we don't want that. We want it to be nice, beautiful, straight. All right, so enjoy this beautiful blanket stitch. It could be a scarf stitch, could be a hat stitch. Either way, it's easy, it's textured, and I love it for blankets. I hope you enjoy it. We'll see you next time.